And welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. Soft she vibes today, but here they is fine. I'm pretty chill. Although I'm not even sure I actually have she vibes so much as anyway. Boom 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 boom. Ooh, ye old. Oh yeah, everyone. Okay. What am I doing? I need to think that through. What I need to do is stream. And tell everyone I'm streaming. Ooh, fun stuff. Yeah. Oh, great component. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Did I say schedule? Yeah. Sunday. Funday. Okay. Okay, so on Sunday nights, for those of you who don't know, I've taken to doing Arcana. Here. Let me actually start doing... This is where it becomes tricky, because I'm doing a balance between actually streaming for the people who are already here and convincing other people who aren't here yet to come and hang out. So, it's a balance thing. Beautiful. Tales of Arcana. So this is a 5e supplement by Matt Kniesel. He actually did put a pronunciation guide in his, yeah. Okay. Doesn't seem like decent settings. Okay, oops, I don't know what that did. Okay. 67, yeah, this is good. Yes. Okay, this is, no. Maybe. No, sorry. I'm trying to get this to work. Go away. Thank you. But not, stop it. Okay, you know, that's about as good as we're gonna get. So, let's just move on to the next page, and then Kniesel. See, he put the Kniesel? Well, anyway, I was pronouncing it as Knickel, so you know, Kniesel. That's the lead developer. He's pretty cool. He came with a lot of crazy stuff. He fused Gandalf and Dumbledore, kind of. There was a lot of really cool stuff that he did, and so I've been going over it, you know, randomly. We didn't go alphabetically. We've been doing different things. We've been going back and forth to the lore. We've been comparing notes, just basically lore diving into this stuff because it's really cool and I enjoy it, and I figured you guys might too. You guys seem to be into it, so you know, we every Sunday not every Sunday, hi, yes, sorry, my fish are being a little silly. They're amazing fish. I love them awfully much, and they are. You guys are okay, yeah? Yeah, you're just being silly. Okay. Cool beans. Yeah, my fish are my bae, and I am hoping at some point I get a splitter and I can get, okay, like a fish cam, and I can kind of show them off. I just got the filter for their tank. They're doing okay with it. Just gotta keep an eye on them. Oh, yes. So, Tales of Arcana 5e Race Guide. So basically, it is a lot more lore, and actually, if you look at the author's notes, little things, is that he wasn't actually intending it to be lore heavy, but kind of worked in the lore anyway, and I kind of enjoy the lore, although there's all these weird questions of, like, okay, what's going on with all this? But it is a lot of fun, and I want to share it with you guys. So we're doing a stream. Oh, right, I have to... Alright, so we're doing the thing, yes. So basically, in the beginning, there was some fun stuff. Jay's on as well, so we have a lot of fun, also other fun people who are also on, so I would not say not to, you know, watch any of them. Jay's on, Darling's on, she is starring Creep Show, she is really cool. Jay's also a lot of fun, he always reads into her, he read it into me once, that was like, you know, but anyway, so I was thinking, so I did that. Twitch, what was oh, someone gifted me a subscription to them. That's nice of them. Okay. Very cool. Hang on. Okay. But I said I was going to do it, and I want to be consistent about these Sunday streams. I missed yesterday and missed Friday, so I want to get back into the habit of streaming. I was at a very good friend's house, actually. So, in any case, I am doing the thing. So we are going to, let's see what we can get, because there's, of course, the, so we got, now this is normally where I'd ask the chat to tell me, hey, what looks interesting, but we don't really have a chat going yet, so, I'm gonna work on a little bit of that in the meantime, if, Bop. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then we'll do one more, and yeah, no, we'll go this one. So I promise I'll actually start doing something interesting soon. But my point on all of that was, hello, welcome! You came! I'm late starting the stream, so I wasn't sure, but we got a few people coming, so that's fun. We are doing a deep dive lore for, I don't know. Let me close this off so I can get a better view. What looks interesting? Ooh, there's multiple types of vampire. I'm curious. Let's go there, and we'll go to that section of the alphabet, see what's there, do the thing with the lore, where we always do, where one thing leads to another, and we're cross-referencing, and shenanigans ensue, and, let me take that down. I'm gonna have the writing open, but I think I would, actually, maybe I could flip it? Yeah, I'm gonna flip it. There we go. I think that's, ooh, there's puppet too. Okay, kinda wanna see puppet, but first we're gonna go vampire. We're gonna start with vampire, see how it plays out, see what's what, and go from there. What the heck is a vroom vroom? Okay, we're gonna start with vroom vroom, go back up to vampire. That's how we're gonna play this. Let's start with Twilight. Okay, let's start with okay, so we're gonna start with 484 and then 448. Sorry, 448, and then vampire is starts on 426. Okay, so we're gonna go to 428. Let's do it. Vampire 428. No, 48. Sorry, 448. And you see, no. Ooh. I'm not gonna say, although, okay, what the heck is a vroom vroom is what I want to know. Vroom vrooms are sentient automobiles from the realm of Motorheim. Though they have inorganic exteriors, internally they are organic with a skeletal structure, organs, and blood-like fluids. Born from a mother factory, vroom vrooms lived harsh lives hunted by the vile train creatures known as... I'm sorry! They take it so seriously, and it's wonderful. I'm sure it's... Actually, you can probably make it... Choo-choos. Few have been able to make the journey to Arcana. Alright, here's the question. Do cars have male and female? Like, how would you differentiate gender on an automobile? I mean, okay, granted, you could do automobiles. Gender could be a construct, because they are sentient, and anything sentient can express, and who lives in a society can Uh, um, but I just, how would you, although they do have, of course they have the little eyelash, to indicate eyeshadow. Kind of, yeah. But it's everything. So strength score increases by 2. Forgo the first ability score increase you gain from advancing in level. Huh. Recommended for campaigns that start at 5th level or higher. Okay. Many makes and models, depending on their mother factory, displaying various colors, shapes, and sizes. Each has a face that moves as if flesh when they speak, despite being made of plastic or metal. Automobiles are not totally foreign to some regions of Arcana, but ones with faces would be weird even for this world. Interesting. So age. Mother factories as adults, those born from other vroom vrooms become adults in their late teens. Oh, so they can sexually reproduce. They're made in mother factories, but can sexually reproduce. Regardless of origin, vroom vrooms can live up to 80 years. Okay. Disobey laws when they can get away with doing so, using their physical differences as justification for behavior, tend to be chaotic neutral. Okay. Unknown. Even though automobiles exist in industrial areas, your vroom vroom could be one of the first to leave their realm or arrive on Arcana. Same dimensions as a real-world car, standing around 5 feet tall, between 14 and 15 feet long, around 6 feet wide, 3,500 pounds, size is large. Base walking speed is 40 feet. I feel like they could go faster than 40 feet. Yeah, I feel like that's a tricky thing. With 8 hours of work, your armor can be integrated into your body, so you can't take it off without 4 hours of work. Integrated heavy armor doesn't reduce your speed and imposes no disadvantage on dexterity checks. Makes sense. Vulnerable to fire damage and lightning damage. Yeah, cars, if you've seen cars burn, makes sense. You must eat plant material and alcohol to burn for energy, and you require 5 times the normal amount of food each day. You cannot become intoxicated from alcohol because it burns. You have the equivalent of 2 bullseyes lantern integrated into and positioned on the front of your body. These lights can be illuminated or doused at your free interaction with an object during your turn. They require no fuel. Headlights, always useful. You can't use equipment sized for... Well, duh, no shit. Smaller creatures. Non-magic equipment sized for you costs twice as much. The compartment on your back can hold 1 medium creature or 2 small ones. Wait, the car can hold more than 2 people. I feel like they're shortchanging them for balance. True, but, having the rubber tires protects you if you're in the car. It doesn't protect the outside of the car from getting zapped. Having current flow through it. I feel like, if that makes sense. Sorry. Let's see. The creature doesn't count against your carrying capacity, but their gear and other cargo in the compartment do. Creatures inside the compartment have 3/4 cover against attacks from outside the compartment, but targets outside the compartment have cover against attacks from within it. Basically, if an attack misses anyone due to the cover, the attack hits you. Yeah. Passenger can lean out of the compartment to attack, reducing their cover to half. If the passenger does so, targets outside the compartment gain no cover from it against that passenger's attacks. You can't gain proficiency with shields. Yeah, because you don't have arms. Arms like... Yeah?
Sorry to bother you. I cook beans today. I don't know, you wanna eat or not?
Probably not.
Okay, then I'm gonna bring them outside because it's cold outside.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Sorry. That was my roommate. She is awesome, and she made food, and I would normally eat some, but I'm streaming, so I don't want to, be wishy-washy. I'm probably not going to have any of it. I mean, probably will at some point, but not with any, probably better to refrigerate it. I appreciate that she makes extra that we have leftovers, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the stream, my roommate, but she's cool. Let's see. Only 2d4 bludgeoning damage 5 feet before making the attack. Proficiency with your armed strikes. Okay, 2d4 bludgeoning damage feels like... not the beans. I have another plan for food. For later, but that's a whole... I mean, it's probably good, whatever she made, but... Although she might have put too much salt, because her taste buds are wonky. Anyway, let's see. You have charger feet. 2d4 feels like not a lot of damage for getting hit with a car. Maybe that's just me? Oh, if you move so you qualify for the damage bonus in your charger feat and hit your unarmed attack, you can force your target to attempt a strength saving throw. If the target fails, you can knock it prone as part of dealing your unarmed attacks damage. Add proficiency bonus to saving throws against being poisoned. Okay, I feel like you should be immune to poison. A non-magic weapon must be integrated into your body for you to use it. Makes sense. 4 weapons integrated into your body, but can't integrate a longbow, short bow, sling, or reach weapon. Any weapon integrated into your body cannot be thrown. You can take dash action as bonus action. Okay, makes sense. Common and rev. Vroom, vroom. Sorry. The appearance of each vroom vroom varies depending on what vehicle they are based on. You are encouraged to base your character on an existing brand, or you can pick a more historical model if that better fits the campaign setting. Your vroom vroom might resemble a truck, SUV, van, or which would change the appearance of your character but has no game function. Of course, you can work with your SM to design rules for using altered feature. You could choose to place a variant automobile with the following changes. An animate car. You are a sentient car brought to consciousness through technology or magic. Unlike Vroom Vroom, you have no internal organs or skeletal frame. Replace Vroom Vroom resilience with living construct from the automaton race in this book. Animate cars are legendary and often neutral. I mean, it's true. They only go 40 feet. Although you can get dash as a bonus action. Dang, okay. I think we're going up. We're working our way up to vampires, because this is, we got more outer space lore. Conceived as a race with the powers and malaise common associated with spaceships in popular science fiction, television, and movies. Interesting. The beings native to outer space were exempt from the decree. They are still regulated, but they have far more freedom than other spacefaring beings. Okay. He's a faceless. They have a whole thing with the faceless. They do stuff. Alien race, thought to be celestial guardians of space, much as angels protect the sky, though they are not from a higher realm. They're an actual, being-ish. Kind of cool. Damien Memoliti. I really appreciate how they put the artist names under the different illustrations so you can see who did what, because frickin' some of this work is kind of cool and some of it's kind of cringe and you want to see who did what. Though they are not of this world, they protect their adopted homeworld from natural disasters and other extraterrestrial threats. Humanoid with bizarre forms. Their bodies appear insectoid in nature with what looks like exposed muscles and ligaments on their arms and legs. Exoskeletal armor covers their torsos. Each has 6 eyes and a unique head that accommodates their uniquely shaped brain. Their head might be finned or have other unique forms. Their culture has no concept of names, but many use those given to them by astronomers who track their movements from the surface of Genesis. Serene beings. Though they plan for the worst, they live in the moment, seeing thoughts of the future as distractions. They are alien but have little contact with other alien beings such as invaders and Zenari, though they understand their language. They mostly interact with races native to Genesis' moon, such as Thark, and beings who operate in the Silver Satellite, such as Space Elves, Faceless, and some angels. I'm sorry. I need to, you know what? I'm keeping this. I'm putting this in, let's see. Where do we have, where is my Majee? What's it? Marissa Clark's. I haven't done this in a while. Let's look, things that exist. Smurfs and Greyhawk, Aquatic Dwarfs. Extra? Oh, Veldas. Hang on. This is, Angst. Velda's Angst. I have Velda's Angst in my store. Okay, Dark Heresy Shenanigans, Roll Table, Nurse Dendron. Arcana Notes, here it is. Found it. Alright, I'm quoting that. I'm putting that as a quote. And it's going in the official... I don't know... There we go. Boom. There. Now it is put down for posterity. I don't know who posterity will be, but, you know. Let's see. arrived in orbit around Genesis before the Sky War, though they did not participate in the conflict. They remain in the upper atmosphere, sometimes called the outer sky, and the areas between the moons. They were fleeing persecution by celestial alignment, the alliance of technologically advanced civilization in the system. Okay, hang on. We got lore. We got space lore. Okay, ready? We got space lore. Okay, hang on. Upper atmosphere. They were fleeing persecution by celestial alignment, an alliance of technologically advanced civilizations in the system. So they were... Okay, I will fix your name, alright? IEG. Give me IEG. No, put the E on the other side of the I. Better? Anyway. Oh, but this means, hang on. This is where it gets tricky, you ready? Which means that they were... Yes, that person. No, but do you see what this means? This means, hang on. We gotta take notes. There are notes to be taken. Okay, hang on. Notes. So, okay, nail polish, magical abilities, right. Planet invaders, okay. If the Voyagers, right? Fled sentient. This is tense lore, right? Fled sentient races, technological. Okay, hang on. We have to write the name. The biologically based. Hang on. Celestial alignment. Hang on. Ready? Okay. Fled the celestial alignment, which is an alliance of advanced races, hang on, in the system arrived on Genesis pre-Sky War. See, this is where the lore just freaking... This is why I have a whole thing with this book, is because every time you go that, you're like, oh, that makes sense with this, but then this, and then this, and then you're trying to piece it all together, and it's kind of cool, and it's a vibe, and that is why we go back to this. That's why I made a time on Sundays to actually do the one stream a week. And I really need to do more Broncolonia streaming, and I realized that. And I should have done it on Friday, but also, but I was crashing hard. But, freaking, there are too many cool things. But, okay, focus. This is super cool. So, I still have table. Okay, we're gonna put down, we're gonna take down chart 1 for now. Because chart 1 is cool, but we don't need it right now because we're working on big ideas, not individual characters. Chart 1 is for individual characters, not the nature of society, which this is. Also, I think I need to get my buzz cleaned up. But, okay. Hear me out. This is intense, you know? Because, well, you're the only one here. But still. Also, Lord Zimba's still streaming, so it's fine. But, maybe we'll get some more people and then Creep, Darling's still on, obviously. Although she only has 12 people, so, like, I doubt. But she put it on the Jiggy What's It on my thing. But, you know, I of course, I would let her. She's awesome, and she deserves to put her streams on the friend stream section of the Discord because reasons. What was I trying to explain about if the logic follows this? The logic follows that if there they were fleeing the Celestial Alignment. That means the Celestial Alignment was a thing when the Sky War hit, pre-firmament. So, yeah. I don't know what she's got going on. Probably interesting, I'm sure. But I, promised this stream, so I have to deliver it. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I would have given up college if I were a guy. Okay, never mind. I'm getting distracted. I do not get distracted. I need to not get distracted, especially because Eric Mona is really cool. Eric Mona is really cool. Just in general. Yeah, Eric Mona is really cool. I figured I should just say that because he deserves the equation to shout out. Okay. Also true. Yeah, there's a certain amount of, investment that it's more fun to play in. Some of them are fun as podcasts, though. What's the one? Hard Adventure is a fun podcast. That one is, Thomas, who plays Alcott, on Blue Box, is actually, runs that one, and that's a lot of fun. Heart of Adventure. And, then there's, Frostwalkers, which I'm going through now, which just took, like, a hard left turn, and I'm excited about it. But, right, right. But, the war. So the Sky War, right? When the firmament was raised, cutting off Genesis and its moons, Voyagers were able to remain. So they were allowed to stay in system when the firmament went up, which means they got here before the firmament went up. But here's the question. Okay, that makes sense. If they, were stuck behind the firmament and they didn't kick them out because they're pretty chill and they didn't take sides during the Sky War, which I feel like should have been a tip-off. Like, if the Angels were, like, super hard pro-Genesis protection detail, right? I know. But, he's also super cool, so, more power to him. But here's the it's also Sunday night, and also I didn't put that I was going to be Sunday. I forgot to put the Sunday night stream on the schedule, even though it's been a regular thing for a little while now. And also I started late, so that's probably a big part of it too. But you're here, which is cool, and maybe some others will trickle in, and we can go back and circle. But okay, but here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Ready? This is where it gets tricky. If outer sky, so upper atmosphere, between the moons. So, which lines to, around pre-Sky War, then why didn't anyone try to conquer Genesis, anyone from in-system try to conquer Genesis before? So, okay, here's my, so the Angels put the firmament up post-Sky War, right? Was it just kind of they didn't want to tangle with the Angels? Was that? Probably, yeah? So it's probably it was like an understood thing that you don't tangle with the Genesis because the Angels like it. And there's a whole everyone in the system knew not to tangle with Genesis, that the Angels were specially protecting it. The invaders, when their homeworld was destroyed, they didn't know that. That's why they came to Genesis. And they probably thought it was easy picking, right? This is okay, so we got this down. We know what I answered my own question, but okay, so, and then I'm going to finish typing the question, and then I'm going to type the answer. But it helps to rubber duck it with you guys, which is cool, And also, if you want to not do complicated space politics, we can go back to vampires. Because I don't know either, but we're figuring it out. Like, between us, with all this extra brain power, we're figuring out, like, a logical, plausible... We might put more thought into this than Matt Kniesel did. But, because he had designed it separate from lore before. Maybe not. But I think that this is good, because now this is getting our brain juices flowing, and it's fun. At least I hope so. It's kind of cool. It's like, oh, this the lore. We're making lore happen. Like, we're working to, it's cool. This is why I do this. Probably, okay, so because, exactly, and I've got you and I got me. Between us, we got, we got all the cunning. We'll be fine. They respected. Okay, I feel like I should capitalize angels in this context. Okay. The invaders, being from out of system, didn't. And probably Genesis, because, oh, it's like Canada, right? So the Canadian has shit military. Well, okay, they don't have a shit military, but they don't have to worry about invasion. Nobody is going to invade Canada because the U.S. is right here, and nobody wants to tangle with the U.S. military. Like, Mexico, freaking anyone in Central America, really, nobody outside of the Americas is going to go back there anymore. Like, not since the Monroe Doctrine, because they don't want to tangle with Uncle Sam. So, you know, Spain is not going back for Mexico anytime soon. Nobody is going to try for Mexico. No one's going to try for Canada because nobody wants to tangle with the U.S. Army. So, freaking, you know, that's probably the same theory on Genesis. Is everyone, it's easy pickings hypothetically, but nobody wants to mess with the angels. But the invaders didn't know the angels existed. They're like plotting the defense, right? They're panic plotting their defense system of assuming that they only came to Genesis and didn't come to the other planets in the system, which the angels apparently don't like. The angels apparently have like a thing for Genesis and don't like the other systems, which is an interesting play of favoritism. But anyway, exactly. So yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. But oh yes, so. Pickings based on advanced scans of the system, which showed no defensive ships. Defensive ship, okay, that is not how you spell defensive. That's closer. Ships, and no defensive ships. The thing with the, yes, okay, no defensive ships, while other planets had more. Other planets clearly had some, had enough to chase the Voyagers out. Sorry, I'm putting this. Okay, we're just gonna go with that. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so that's what we have for notes. But give me half a second. I'm back. I brought water. I shouldn't be drinking so much bottled water, but Maria got it, and my roommate, like I said, is awesome. And I don't have the right glass. It's not clean, and I need the liquid. I need the liquid, because... But anyway, yeah, they saw no defensive ships. They thought, this is the planet in the system that we'd invade. So they went for it, and then the angels came down hard, put up the protective firmament. The other people in the system were pissed, because they didn't get the protection firmament. Well, actually, they didn't need it. They probably saw it as Genesis getting special treatment, which is why they're all pissy about it. And Cassiel is a whole, well, he's a whole secondary vibe on that. But he got through the firmament, which I don't think very few people can get ships through the firmament. Though magic can go through, we know, because Cassiel got through with a little help from some elves who turned against him, and but none of the others wanted to do it. Cassiel was the only one crazy enough to mess with the other angels because he was an angel. Like, none of the other systems wanted to fuck with the angels. That's why. So that's the only reason Genesis didn't get invaded more often, is because they freaking had the angels on their side. And they were playing favorites with all the other planets in the system. Which probably breeds some of the resentment that space elves are so, like, worried about. Okay, so... Okay, like, alright. That's probably a whole thing. Okay, I'm thinking plot lines with... Okay, Right, but I have to do the thingamabob with the whatchamajig. Sorry. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what else they have to say about them. Sorry, we kind of got in a lore tangent, and we haven't even gotten to the vampires yet, which we will, eventually. Biology-based. Though they can brave outer space, Voyagers live within biological ships. They care for these pods like family, often traveling with other Voyager pods in clusters. When pods become ill or injured, other pods are capable of birthing organs that can be transplanted in ailing pods to heal it. Many Voyagers are based on a space station known as Starlantis, magic technologically advanced city built by an ancient Genesian race. Okay. Infinitum crystals, which can be found on the moons of Genesis. Voyagers who live here do not use pods, though they might capture and train space whales. Okay, so pods are sort of like livestock, yes? Okay, we should make that a note of that. Nope, we don't need to do that. We might need to make a note of that. The pods are sort of like livestock. I mean... Okay. Planets does not have an R in it. Don't forget to save your work. Okay. Starship, wait. Does not stop natural debris, so Voyagers protect Genesis from meteors. They oppose the Corsairs, space pirates from beyond Genesis who aim to sidestep the firmament to set up smuggling rings. Okay. We got space pirates. We got space pirates. Okay, space pirates are cool, okay? Space pirates are just inherently cool. I'm sorry, I geeked out alone. Corsair ships use god engines, which draw power from captured or volunteering god, are home to nave aids, starship nymphs who control the ship's systems. Okay, how much of a god do you gotta be to power... How much power do you need as a god? Like, how powerful a deity do you have to be to power a Spartan? Okay, this is another question. Okay, this is a whole layers. We got layers here. Okay. This is okay, hang on. First, we're going to take this down, pop this up. How much of a god? Okay. How much of a deity, that is to say, how much of a deity do you need to be to power a starship, is my question. Are some too minor? If not, do any of the Corsairs try to foster... Oh, sorry. There we go. Trying to create deities by starting cults. I mean, anyone with sufficient enough belief can become a god, right? That's how deities often work. So do you start a cult or convince a god to promote a minor follower to godhood so that you can get starship engines as your freaking back, like, creating cults? Okay. Okay. stream is it's really hard to go proper distraction because this stream is nothing but distractions. The whole nothing but distractions. But oh yes, that's a question. Do Corsairs just do that? Because I feel like that would be a good business plan, right? If you're a Corsair and you're trying to get an extra deity and you can't find one, can you just make one? Control the ship's systems. That'd be fun. Yes, you and me and the... You're very distracting, but also in a good way. One ability score of your choice increases by 1. Oh, you only get 1. Interesting. Approximately 180 years. Do their best to respect the rules of other societies and not judge others' actions, even if doing so would cause harm. Therefore, neutral. Seldom enter the atmosphere. Stand as tall as 7 feet or as short as 5, with their weight similar to humans of those heights. Size is medium. Need not breathe. So you need food and stuff, but you don't need breath. Starting at 5th level, using your action, you can pull a creature or object you can see within 60 feet of you up to 20 feet towards you. A creature can attempt a strength saving throw, DC 8 plus charisma, your choice, plus proficiency. Oh, you get to choose your casting modifier. That's fun. To resist movement. An object that weighs 200 pounds or less isn't being worn or carried is automatically moved. If the object is worn or carried, the creature wearing or carrying it receives a strength saving throw to keep it. If the creature fails, you pull the object towards you. Your nature imparts innate magic. Oh, that's probably why you only get 1 ability score increases, because you got innate magic. Eldritch Blast and Mage Hand cantrips, and can cast Mage Armor, targeting only yourself and shield. Although you can cast Mage Armor only once per day, you regain the ability to cast Shield each time you finish a short or long rest. At 7th level, you can cast Fly, targeting only yourself, once per day. Starting at 11th level, you can regain the ability to cast Fly this way each time you finish a short or long rest. Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, your choice, is your spellcasting ability for these spells, and you need no material components. I feel like you gotta pick one, though. Like, it's the same one as Tractor Beam. You gotta pick your casting modifier, and you can't change it. Which I don't think you would want to anyway, you just pick your highest one, but it's a thing. You can double this, you can jump, take the dash action as a bonus action. Speak, read, and write common and alien, including all unique language of other alien. They're probably all dialects. If the celestial alignment, alien is probably like a standardized form of a bunch of different dialects, mishmash trade speak dialects. Hang on, I gotta note that down. Sorry, I'm getting all this lore vibes. Lore is awesome, okay? This is why we do these streams. This is why we do this. Okay. Sorry, aliens. Alien as a language. And then the Voyagers probably speak the dialects. As a language is probably a standard. Nope, do not put cat. A standardized amalgamation of multiple dialects that were once unique languages spoken by peoples on different planets. That would have been an interesting... It's like Gothic. That's an interesting... Linguistically, an interesting vibe. I would be interested in hearing that. Let's see. We're gonna go back. Open this up again. Temporarily. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I have a... Yes, exactly. Exactly. And because nobody in the celestial... The angels cut off Genesis from the rest of the celestial alignment, they're 2 distinct languages. But they... Yeah. Yeah, basically. Basically. Let's see. Warp and link. Okay, that's it for them. But yeah, but that's interesting. See, that is a lore dump. All the space races have lore dumps. Okay, Vicar, then we got Vermin. Ooh! They have Skaven, essentially. Ish. Kinda? Maybe? Alright, we're going up, I guess. I guess we're going up. Okay, this is... Oh, okay. This is... Alright, I want to know what the deal with this is. Biomechanic... Okay. Okay, I think we're going up. We might have to save vampires for... Well, okay, we can go... We're just going up. We're not going directly to vampires. We're just going up bit by bit, because this is interesting. I mean, unless anyone really wants to do vampires right away. No matter what kind of terror I conjure, creation can always provide something scarier. Blade, cartel, fearmonger. I mean... Chaotic creatures made from rabbit skin stretch over wicker frames. They are native to Haven, a migratory realm of Sweet Home, an infernal place where mortals' memories are turned into jam by malevolent beings known as Mother May I. Vermin are often feral and rarely leave their domain under the floorboards of Sweet Home, but they gain sentience after consuming memory jams stolen from Mother. Okay. Nightmare realms. On the mortal plane, vermin are vicious creatures feared by all for their bloodlust. Humanoid wicker body similar in size and shape to rattan. Rabbit skin is stretched over the frame, but wicker is never totally covered. They have rabbit ears and red eyes, elongated teeth, sharp claws, long worm-like tails. Fur is usually gray, white, brown, or black. Unique metaphysical properties. A sword poked through a wicker area of the vermin slides harmlessly into that space, but thrusting it into a furry area produced a bleeding wound. Opening the wound up more reveals internal organs. The fur can be moved over the wicker frame, but it always bleeds in this way. Dang, okay. Wicked and cruel, going out of their way to cause pain and suffering. Luckily, they are frail, so they avoid planning outright attacks. So they didn't go the usual way of, what was it? Of Wizards of the Coast, where they're saying, oh, not all orcs are, not all this race are evil, not all this race are evil. What they're doing is just creating newer, scarier races that are all evil, and then the ones that are usually traditionally all evil are broody and misunderstood, and then there are just some really evil ones. They're just giving us monsters, but they're sentient, so they're playable. This is interesting. I'm for it, honestly. I'm for it. Because when you create, sentient creatures that aren't kind of analogs of human cultures to be the evil, you kind of create a better vibe. Let's see. Most live in crypts, dungeons, or sewer systems. When they adventure, they prefer to travel with other malicious beings such as ogres, devils, or leviathans. Home sweet home. A traveler walking through the woods might come across a white metal screen door flecked with rust. No matter what time of day, light streams through the screen as if it were sunset on the other side of the door. They might be. We haven't gotten there yet. But I'm pretty sure they should be. I mean, if they're not, I would add that as a DM because honestly, freaking, alright, sorry. We should, sorry, I'm getting distracted. My point on all of this was, oh yeah, they streamed into Little Bones. Jay rated into Little Bones. I'm keeping her open, obviously. Oh hey, we got more fun. Yeah, no, for sure. Hi, welcome new streamers. Apparently we got new friends, so welcome. Anyone who came in, my name is still Lee. We are, more like they vibes today, honestly. Was just too lazy not to be fat. I don't know. Today is a weird day. I haven't actually been places, so dinner vibes are weird. But yeah, so they them vibes say here she is fine. Also though, we are vibing and talking about this really cool Here, let me put... Maybe only the wicker parts are of this, honestly. So, okay, let me show everyone who just popped in, because we had a sudden surge of viewers after Jay's thing ended. Let me go to the tip... Okay, 30... Alright, we'll have to go back down in a minute. But, Arcana, that is, I'm going to the tippity top. Sorry for disrupting the Majiggy Whatsits, but I think we can go a whole introductory... That's this is a map, sort of the planes and, different, realms, and there's also a bunch of other realms that are kind of like vaguely connected to real space that are just kind of tightly there that let's see, I think Sweet Home is one of them. We'll see. But what we have a lot of those. Okay, back to the beginning. Very beginning. Very good place to start. When you sing, when you read, you begin with ABC. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. For this, we begin with this book by Matt, let's see, how do we pronounce it? Kneisel, who is a author who created this really cool... Oh, Vermin, that's what she's fighting. This is the one in the illustration on the cover. Where the first page that's on the inside cover, I think, if it was an actual printed copy, but I cheaped out and got the PDF. So, you know, but this is what they were talking about with the Vermin. You see she's fighting them in the sewers. Under capital 7. So basically, he created this epic, freaking planet that has so many connections to so many different realms, and apparently there are actual angels, and the angels like the planet more than any of the other planets in the system, which are all inhabited by spacefaring races that don't get the same protection that Genesis does, even although they didn't get invaded, but Genesis got like special attention, and I think the other planets are jealous because they have there are issues with that. But in any case, we're so basically it's over 200 playable race characters. I believe it might be over. Anyway, they're a lot, like all of these, and these are just the second half of the alphabet. It starts on page 24 and goes to page 200 and 400, 300. I think there might be over 300. Well, no, because 400. Yeah, 440. Yeah, because there are two per. Each race gets 2 pages. So yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of ones, and we ended up we were gonna go to vampires, and then I was curious about Vroom Vroom, and then I think we just kind of started going up because everything in between was really interesting. So you know, I've been going through randomly certain chunks of alphabets, talking about the lore, you know, playing around with the possibilities on what it means for the greater continents and in Genesis and stuff. You know, just deep diving into the lore, vibing, talking about it, taking notes, hanging out with you guys. If any of this looks vaguely interesting and you wanted me to go over it, right now we're on Vermin. We're over into V's because I was going to do Vampire, and then everything between them and Vroom Vroom was really interesting, so we're just going up. And we'll hit Vampire eventually. Possibly. It very well might be. I mean, it would not be out of place for everything else they based. Given everything else that in this book, I don't think that would be a misplaced theory of them, the origins. Okay, so, I mean, they have Men in Black. A whole race based on Men in Black. Okay, 448, right? Was Room? Okay, that's from Rooms. Voyager, we were skipping this one, and Vermin. Here we go. Oh yes, Home Sweet Home. So that's kind of introduction on what we're doing, what this lore is, and why we're. These guys are freaking made of wicker, covered in rabbit skin. The rabbit skin parts, if poked, bleed. The wicker parts don't. It's weird. They have weird metaphysical properties, and they are generally pretty evil and terrifying. Home Sweet Home. Now this is where we get the realm, because the realm they're from sounds really thin. No matter what time of day light streams to the screen is for sunset on the other side of the door. Those who see this door are compelled to open it, though they know they should turn around and flee. Once they step through and it closes, they find themselves in the haven of Sweet Home, where they're greeted by a cloaked woman in a featureless mask. Before the victim can react, Mother May I kills them and uses unique magic to extract their memories, emotions, and personalities, turning them to a jam she stores in the kitchen cupboard. It is unclear if Mother made the vermin or if they evolved naturally in this place. Crypto historians suspect both Mother May I and the vermin are exigent beings from outside understood magic. Vermin can always be heard under the floorboards in Mother May I's home, where they live in a sprawling basement domain. A vermin who finds and consumes some of Mother's jam gains awareness and learns how to leave Sweet Home through the white metal screen door, entering the mortal plane. Terrorize farm animals and inhabitants of smaller settlements, seeking out others of their kind to coordinate their efforts. They stay in an area for a while and then migrate to a new location before adventurers can find them. Capable of traditional reproduction, vermin pairs can spawn dozens of offspring. Though they exist in most urban settings, hidden in abandoned warehouses and sewers, many have found their way to Strix Hollow, an obscured city where nefarious magic users congregate. Ooh, Strix Hollow sounds cool. I want to know more about Strix Hollow. I am putting that on the... I'm just putting in notes. Strix Hollow sounds cool. I bet there's more of it, like, in other... Probably in the vampire... Maybe in the vampire page we'll find more on Strix Hollow. I'll keep an ear to the... I'm just putting it there. But, okay. Mercenary jobs working for necromancers, warlocks, or others who use magic to increase their own power. Some vermin have learned magic to learn about their nature, hoping they can understand how to create more vermin. If they can just reproduce, then why do they need to frickin'... Anyway. You create more people by having babies. That's how reproduction works. Constitution increased by 2. Dexterity increases by 1. Created as adults and don't age. Okay. But, hang on. Okay. Hang on, though. Here's the thing. If they can reproduce traditionally, then what about can spawn dozens of offspring? So they can an expression of pointless violence and needless destruction. The best among them are chaotic neutral, most are chaotic evil. Okay, but if they can if they're created as adults, do they spawn adults? Okay. Here's what I don't get. If they are do they spawn adults? Because if they can reproduce sexually, then they can have babies, hypothetically. But then are the babies born as adults? Or are they just born small and they only have small one? Are they just born small and then don't grow? So each generation is successively smaller because they're born as adults. Okay, now okay, hang on, we're putting this, okay, sounds cool. I'm putting that there. We're putting that in this bottom part, and then we're gonna put down here, if vermin can reproduce biologically, or since vermin can allegedly, let's start with since, can allegedly reproduce biologically on the mortal plane. Don't put caps lock on. On the mortal plane. Then are they born as adults? With each generation getting do born vermin have childhoods? Or are they born physically, but with mentality that is they grow physically, not mentally. And do born don't? That's an important question. Because are they metaphysically the same if they're born on this plane, if that's a thing? Because they're metaphysically constructs until they're not. But if they're born on this plane, do they not gain... Because I know the ones born on this plane clearly get sentience in a way the ones created on the other plane don't. So, okay, we'll have to put that too. But clearly... created Sweet Home don't naturally, unless they're mindless, unless those born on this plane don't get sentience, and that's why they're doing the magic to, unless they don't, unless they're just that might be a thing, that unless those born on the mortal plane are just beasts. And only those are sentient. Because they ate the jam. They ate the jam. If that's the case, is there a way for those born to mimic that awakening? Or do they have to go, or do they have to be to get the jam? That's all interesting questions that I don't know the answer to, but it's worth, it's worth thinking on. The magic animated vermin in the place to come from makes them a rare sight. 3.5 feet tall and weigh only 30 pounds. Size is small. 35 feet. You also have climb speed of 35 feet. See in dim light within 60 feet, as if we're bright light, dark. Okay, and in darkness have the same range as if we're dim light. And even in dim light, absent even dim light, the vision is monochromatic. Fiend. You are a humanoid, but considered to be a fiend whenever it's detrimental to you, which is common. Living construct. You are a humanoid, but your constructed nature gives you the following traits. You are immune to disease and have resistance to poison damage. Also, you can add your proficiency bonus to saving throws against being poisoned. If you have proficiency in such a saving throw, your proficiency is doubled. You do not need to eat, drink, or breathe. You do not sleep and don't suffer the effects of exhaustion from lack of rest. Magic can't put you to sleep. During long rest, which you still need, you remain conscious and aware. You have fangs, claws, and horns, and your unarmed strikes can deal 1d3 piercing damage or slashing damage. Your natural weapons have light and finesse properties, and you have proficiency with them. You have resistance to piercing damage and vulnerability to fire damage. You were right. I mean, they're also made of magic, so that's probably why they have strength. Speak very right, common and whimsy. Some vermin learn the infernal language. Yeah, whimsy magic is not to be messed with. Okay, frickin', I want to know what the deal with these guys are. And, alright, I want to know what the deal with these guys are. Miguel Rigadon Harkness, who does a bunch of these guys. Okay. Verge, I will follow my orders, but how are we now meant to work with the corpses of the soldiers I have failed? Ansom Applejet, Empire General. Verge are a hive mind of forcibly mechanized beings, modified... Oh, they're the Borg, basically. Yeah, they're also made of magic, though, so you gotta remember that. They're... I mean, and as a DM, as a small creature, you have lessened carrying capacity because of that. The carrying capacity... I mean, I don't know, a lot of DMs don't track carrying capacity, but it is lessened. And the DM might impose other restrictions on strength based on, you know, not just the score. But I mean, even then, even a halfling having a strength of 19 makes no sense, and yet it's, well, maybe not, but like a halfling or gnome can have higher strength, and, you know, as high as 16 or 15 or 16, which is well above human average, and they're not, you know, it's possible. So there's always a little wonkiness in any system, the way they're, you know, set up. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's definitely a system set up. There is definitely a system, you know, the mechanics do get a little wonky sometimes. Are a hive mind of forcibly mechanized beings modified to convert other beings into Verge. Recently, for reasons unknown, the Verge have begun giving units of individuality to better interact with other races. Yeah, no. Pathfinder had negative ability scores, so certain races, every race had at least one that was a negative, except humans. Had one that was a negative. So dwarves, for example, got -2 to charisma. So you couldn't have more than 16 as charisma if you rolled it because you know, it would cap. Same thing for strength for halflings and constitution for elves, certain stuff. Verge warrants humans remade with various technological components, usually for function over form. Typically, their arms and head are the focus of these improvements. Others compare them to zombies with robotic parts. Armor plates might be fused over the body, though never totally covering it. The most garish aspect of their appearance is other humans connected to the central Verge as additional organs or to enhance processing power. These external additions are usually secured to the front or back of the Verge, though each is uniquely horrifying. Occasionally, one or more different races might be used to create the Verge form. Okay. Cold and analytical, driven to achieve their assigned task over emotion or other desires. A central hive mind directs these tasks, but Verge who quest are usually given autonomy so they can critically think and adapt to unpredictable situations. Empire citizens fear Verge, and most would be hesitant to work with them. Okay. Verge were first encountered in the Empire's Fenquar province, known for its vast swath of savage wilds. There, explorers found technologically advanced pyramids that operated as hubs for thousands of mindless Verge workers. Once they remade the explorers, Verge began spreading throughout the province, converting anyone they encountered. Empire military forces, including skyships from Skyreach, attacked the central Verge pyramid in the Battle of Fox Chicken Grain, the sector designation for that part of the wilds. Many lives were lost, but the conflict ended when all workers deactivated. The Verge were controlled by several queens who had disagreed among themselves. After the battle began, the violent queens were defeated internally. The remaining Verge surrendered and signed a treaty with the Empire. The hives of rebellious queens separated from their warlike kind. Oh, so a couple of the queens... Oh, so it was an internal thing of kind of like the Russian peace with the Germans during World War I. They were like, it was an internal falling apart that they... Okay, that makes sense. Today, Verge can be found in Empire cities, though many people still remember the horrors of their original incursions. Some Verge might even include recognizable parts of former citizens, which also inhabit the Forsaken Lands, city-state of High Scabarine. The queen of these Verge, aside the swarm, High Scabarine's army, aid the swarm, the High Scabarine's army, by augmenting wild beasts and dire monsters native to the Forsaken Lands with Verge technology, creating living siege weapons. Okay. Facepalm is an Amazon who worked as a sidekick to a superhero. She can be seen in the box for Tales of Arcana, the second set on page 495. During a recent quest, she was captured and remade by a rogue Verge hive. Unlike most Verge created this way, she retains her memories. Interesting. That's a hell of a name. But here's... So, okay. So, there's the rogue queens running around whatever. And then you got the city ones who signed the treaty and were integrated into the Empire. This is freaking interesting. Okay. 2 different ability scores of your choice increased by 1. Adults. Typical units function for 50 years, although a unit could be refurbished to last longer. Verge are a hive-like society with a communal structure in which all units have a specific function. Individuals are expected to value the welfare of the collective most of all and follow directives of the community's central processing unit. Verge are lawful neutral. Alright. And they're, of course, making new units from somewhere. Verge units usually operate close to their collective, although more individualized units may be recently released to interact with other species. That's an interesting... Because, okay, so if the collectives are... is the size of a human, although their unusual body shape and technological elements can make the units weigh twice as much as humans of the same height. Size is medium. 30 feet. If you take acid cold, fire, lightning, radiant, or thunder damage, you can have the resistance to that damage type for 1 round. This ability provides only one kind of resistance at a time. Most recent damage replaces any other type. With 8 hours of work, your armor can be integrated into your body, so you can't take it off without 4 hours of work. Integrated heavy armor doesn't reduce your speed and imposes no disadvantage on stealth checks. You can sleep in integrated armor. You can communicate with high-tech machines capable of receiving such communications as if you had telepathy with a range of 20 feet. How the machine responds depends on its capabilities. You can have two tool sets or 1 light weapon and 1 tool set. Or 1 light weapon and 1 tool set, integrated with your limbs so you cannot drop them and are always with you. In addition, you add your proficiency bonus to sleight of hand attempts you make to hide these objects on you. If you have proficiencies in sleight of hand, your proficiency bonus is doubled for this purposes. You have proficiency in the medicine skill and 1 tool. You speak, read, and write Common and Code. Okay, but here's the question. In the integrated Empire Verges, where do they get their parts from? Like, what... If they integrated with the Empire, where do they get the parts for New Verge? That's the question, because a bunch of the queens were integrated with the Empire, so they brought their collective with them, and their collectives integrated, and they settled in, like, a city, and okay, that makes some sense. But where did they get the parts for New Verge? Were there volunteers? I mean, if Acme... Actually, I wouldn't put it past Acme Corporation to vet grow clones for them. That sounds like a thing that would happen in the Empire, honestly, given circumstances. But when the Verge Queens who settled... Of course, I'm sure there are someone who built the Verge, and if someone built the Verge, did they die to the Verge and then merge with, or did they abandon them? That's the question. It's not even the who. There was advanced technology, advanced species out the wazoo. I'm sure someone could have. That's not the question. The question is, did they get drawn into them, or did they abandon them? Or did they... That's the question, because if they abandoned them... There's other machinations. If they got merged into them, I mean, it makes sense given the Verge's nature. Or were they intentionally... Were the Verge started as a way to prolong their own lives? Like, they started cyborging themselves, and then started popping others, and then... Okay, that's another possibility. Hang on. Get the parts for new. First, part for New Verge. Secondly, and did whoever built the Verge because I think that's how the Borg started. I think they started with cyborging themselves, and then Or, if the latter, did they just abandon? Abandon is with N on the end. Abandon the verge. Evolved. Or hive mind evolved. Okay, hang on. Or did they and the hive mind evolve? Or did they abandon the verge and the hive mind evolved, or did they go get assimilated? I'm sure there's not going to be any answers, but it's worth thinking about. You know what I mean? That's what the point with the questions is, not necessarily to answer them, but to think about them and dig into the lore deeper by considering them. Adaptable defense and programming and languages. Okay. Who we got next? Okay. Ooh. Vata. Oh, okay. These are freaking what? Okay, hang on. The elephant beings. Okay, Trunks. That's not even Luxodon. That's just we. Okay, Vashni. Ooh, Celestial Devilkin. Okay, that's hell of a. Okay, Vandal. Ooh. And then we got Varna, and we got Sun Vampire. Okay. Let me. Okay, hang on. Should we start? Here's the question. Should we start with vampires down? This is a question, and I want answers on this. Should we start with vampires and go down, or should we okay. All right. Okay. That's the question. Yeah, we're doing that. Okay, I guess we could just do that. Okay, so alright, let's alright, okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted by something else, but my point on that still stands. It's fine. My point still stands is, sorry, I'm getting very distracted. Breathe. My point on this is, should we start with vampires and go down, or should we start with frickin' and go up? That I want answers on. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry about. Okay. You know what? Let's see what they do. All right. I guess we're going vampires and down. The curse of vampirism has many forms, though the original taint can be traced to a singular source. Abraham Van Helsing, vampire hunter. Jiangshi are a race of vampires. Oh, okay, hang on. We start with vampire. Let's start at the very top. I'd trade immortality in a second if that meant I could wear white again without having to constantly clean bloodstains out of my outfits. Alexandra, vampiress owner of High Stakes Casino. Ooh. Vampires are undead predators who survive on the blood of their victims. They are unnaturally strong and fast, though they are weakened by sunlight, garlic, and running water. They cast no reflection and must be invited into the homes of sentient living beings. Vampires are reanimated bodies of humans. They appear to be alive, though they are pale with fangs and red eyes. Vain and vapid, they wear elegant clothing in most situations and are not shy about letting others know what they are. Vampires can move with preternatural quickness, though they prefer to walk with poise and dignity to broadcast their perceived station. They have chillingly beautiful voices. They keep their names from life, but might also be given new designations by the Shadow Council, such as Baron, Count, or Duke. Vampires are arrogant and cruel. They consider themselves to be apex predators and the true rulers of Arcana. However, some who live long enough or recently turned reject the vampire status quo and seek voluntary blood donors. Vampires have ancient grudges with long-lived races such as High Elves and Sasquatches. The Shadow Council. Okay, this is what the Shadow... Okay, we want to know what the Shadow Council is. This sounds like Vampire the Masquerade, and I kind of like it. We're getting to that part where they leap. I promise. Because that's the next part down. Okay, hang on. Ready. Is an organization of vampires that act as a parallel government within other nations, sanctioning vampire activity and rulership of various regions. The council is overseen by representatives of several ruling houses, each with a bond to specific animals such as bat or wolf. They enforce vampire commandments that aimed at preventing direct conflict with human authority, such as regulating the creation of new vampires. They have the greatest power in the ancient forests of Sylvania and the Hungor region of Ionian subcontinent. In the Empire, vampires are subject to the Thin Ice legislation, meaning those who break the law can have their rights revoked and a death warrant issued for them. Some vampires here consume sanguine, an artificial blood drink, to quell their urges to feed on humans and other mortals so they don't accidentally cross the line. Your strength, dexterity, and constitution and charisma score each increase by 1. Ooh, alright. Forbidden from turning children, so most adults are adults. Most. They are ageless. Vampires follow the laws of a secret society made up of their kind. They value traditions and hierarchy of this society over any other. Within this structure, many vampires are selfish and... Ooh. Now he's hot. You gotta admit. He's got mad drip, too. Like freaking thigh-high boots. Way to go. Wicked, treating mortal beings as lessened. Vampires are neutral or evil with a lawful bent. Uncommon. Few mortals are turned into vampires. Can come from almost any common living humanoid. Your size is small or medium. Okay, so you can turn other... Now we gotta figure out... There are halfling vampires. Halfling vampires are a thing, and I am not entirely opposed to this. I know you don't like halflings. But gnomish vampires are also a thing. Smurfian vampires, assuming Smurf exists in this world, which they very well might, are also a thing. Elven vampires. Now that's a vibe. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably end the stream around 11. Just saying. Let's see. Walking speed is 35 feet. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as bright light, and darkness within the same range for dim light. Absent any even dim light, this is monochromatic, dark vision. Bite. You have fangs. Your unarmed strike can deal 1d4 piercing damage. Your bite has the light and finesse weapon properties, and you have proficiency with it. You can cast Friend's Cantrip without material components. Charisma is your spellcasting modifier. When you bite, if your target is living and grappled by you, incapacitated, restrained, or willing, it takes 1d4 necrotic damage from your bite. Yeah, so you have to like hold them down when you bite to get the necrotic damage. Each round when you deal this damage, you can spend 1 hit die to regain hit points. The target's hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to the necrotic damage taken. This reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest. If the target dies, if you reduce the hit point maximum to 0. Forbiddance. You can either enter a residence only with an invitation from one of the occupants. Garlic weakness. While you are within 5 feet of one clove or more of garlic, you are poisoned. It has to be a whole clove, though. So, like, a little bit in your food might not do it. You are humanoid, but your undead nature gives you the following traits. Immune to disease and have the resistance to poison damage. Also, you can add your proficiency bonus to saving throws against being poisoned. If you have proficiency in such a saving throw, your proficiency bonus is doubled. You need not breathe. Vulnerable to radiant damage. Although you can be healed if you're humanoid, the Raise Dead spell works on you. And the Raise Dead spell works on you, returning you to the life of vampire. You are otherwise considered to be undead when it is detrimental to you. Image does not appear in reflective surfaces. You must consume life force to survive. To benefit from a long rest, you must have dealt at least 5 necrotic damage with your bites since finishing the previous long rest. Okay. Immersion in the body of rapidly moving water larger than you deals 1d4 acid damage the first time you enter it on a turn, and each time you end your turn in it thereafter. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and wisdom perception checks that rely on sight when your target or what you're trying to see is in direct sunlight. In addition, being exposed to direct sunlight deals 1d6 radiant damage the first time you enter it on a turn, and each time you end your turn on it thereafter. Okay. See, the sunlight vulnerability in 5e is weak sauce, and you can get around it easily. Hey! Gnomes and halflings are cool, okay? Show your shorter brethren some love. What do you have against short people? Like, gnomes and halflings are cool. And Garl Glirgold, we've established, has the best drib of any god in Greyhawk. So, you know, you can't be mad at that. Surely. You're gonna say, don't call me Shirley. I'm calling it. I know, but... Okay. Sorry. My first 5e character was... Actually, my first ever role-playing character was a dwarf. And then my first 5e character was a halfling. And my first character after that was Duragar. Or then I played Duragar, and then I had a gnome-born tiefling who was... So a tiefling, but born from a gnomish family, so very short. So basically, I didn't play a full-height race for... Dwarves are almost... They're borderline, but... That was the tallest race I played for ages, was dwarves, because, you know... Speaking right, and one other language. Most learn Shadow Tongue. Okay. Alright. Jiangshi. Jiangshi are a race of vampires native to D. Unnaturally strong and fast, though weakened by sunlight, Jiangshi can hop great distances and must be invited into homes like other vampires. If the wards nailed on their heads are removed, they suffer rigor mortis. Oh, they have like some sort of weird freaking thing nailed to their head that keeps them from being corpses. Like other vampires, Jiangshi are the reanimated corpses of the dead, paler than they were when they were alive and with fangs and red eyes. Their form of vampirism requires securing a warding scroll to their head to prevent their bodies from stiffening. In such a state of rigor mortis, they extend their arms. Jiangshi act like nobility even when they adventure. They are less arrogant than other vampires, but can be just as cruel. They are native to D, but even there, few know about their existence. Most know about vampires, but few are aware of different strains of the vampire curse. Jiangshi are native to the subcontinent. They operate their own network that rejects the authority of the Vampire Shadow Council. Known as the Fang Triad, this organization seeks not to control territories but to enrich its members through criminal enterprise. Although many Jiangshi are legitimate business owners and adventurers, the Fang Triad uses espionage and smuggling to increase its reach. The Triad's human conscripts are trained as ninjas and known as Fang Soldiers. Your strength, dexterity, and constitution, charisma, each increased by 1. Vampires, including Jiangshi, are forbidden from turning children, so most are adults. They're ageless. So they keep they also hold... The Fang Triad holds the Shadow Council's standard of... Fair. Okay, fair. She never said she wouldn't exactly. She just said she was going to leave the apples. Few mortals have ever encountered vampires, let alone the Jiangshi variety. All vampires races follow the laws of secret society made up of their kind. They value traditions and hierarchy of the society over any other. Within the structure, many Jingxi are selfish and wicked, treating mortal beings as lesser, neutral evil with a lawful vent. Okay, so they just have their own version of the society. 35 feet, dark vision, fangs, your bite, and you have. Oh yeah, here we go. Proficiency. You can cast the Friend's cantrip without material components. Charisma is your spellcasting modifier for it. Ability for it, rather. When you bite, if your target is living and grappled by you, incapacitated, restrained, or willing, takes 1d4 necrotic damage. Each round you deal the damage, you can spend a hit dice to regain hit points. The target's hit point maximum is reduced to amount equal to necrotic damage taken. This reduction lasts until the target's finished the long rest. The target dies if reduced hit points, maximum to 0. You can enter it only when with an invitation for one of the occupants. Jumper doubles the distance you can jump. You are humanoid, but you're negative nature, immune to disease, resistance to poison damage. Add a proficiency bonus on saving throws against being poisoned. If you have proficiency in such a saving throw, your proficiency bonus is doubled. You need not breathe. You are vulnerable to radiant damage. Although you can be healed as if you're humanoid, and the red dead spell works on you, returning you to life as a vampire, you are otherwise considered to be undead whenever it is detrimental to you. Your image does not appear on reflective surfaces. You must consume life force to survive. To benefit from a long rest, you must have dealt at least 5 necrotic damage with your bite since finishing the previous long rest. Immersion in the body of rapidly moving water larger than you deals d4 acid damage. You've disadvantage on attack and perception checks. Rely on sight when your target or what you're trying to see is directly in sunlight. In addition, being exposed to direct sunlight deals 1d6 radiant damage. The first time you enter, and each time you end your turn and thereafter. You have a warding scroll in your head. Okay, so jumper. So far, the only difference I've seen is jumper. You double the distance you can jump. Only a creature that's proficiency in Arcana and succeeds on a D20 intelligence Arcana check knows what this object, which appears to be decorative, does and how vulnerable you are without it. Your scroll grants you resistance to damage you take from your vampire vulnerabilities. If you are restrained or incapacitated, a creature can use its action to remove your scroll. A creature that has you within reach and succeeds on a sleight of hand check, the DC being 8 plus your dex plus your proficiency, can also remove your scroll. While your scroll is removed, you awaken if asleep and have the poison condition. After your scroll is separated from you, destroying it is as easy as tearing a strip of paper. You can make another warding scroll in 1 hour, but you cannot benefit from any rest until you do so. And you have rigor mortis, so I don't know how you're going to make this scroll. You're going to have to have someone else make it for you. Speak, read, and write Common and one other language. Most Jingxi learn Shadow Tongue. Interesting with the warding scrolls. She's kind of done hers with her hair to make it look more natural. His is kind of more obvious. Sun vampires. Even though something as simple as a parasol or even a rare nyx cloth can allow a vampire prolonged ability to walk in the sunlight, the other masters are petty and hate the sun vampires for their boon. Mina Murray, a vampire socialite. Sun vampires are similar to traditional vampires, but lack the typical weakness common to other vampire strains. Their vampirism arose from mortals drinking the blood of defeated gods, which they used to prevent threats to their kingdom. Ooh, alright. Vampire Blessing. Miguel Rigadon Harkness. I think he did, or they did, yeah, they did all the vampires, so that makes sense. Just do all the vampires. Okay. Some vampires were once humans and can be any human ethnicity or culture, though this strain of vampirism originated on the Alathal region. They have fangs but are not pale and lack the red eyes typical among other vampires. However, like other vampires, they have preternatural speed and strength as well as beautiful haunting voices. Sun vampires are benevolent, unlike other vampires, having survived evil gods and overseas invaders. It is their desire to protect their lands, and they might try to free others from similar situations. Other vampires abhor them as abominations, and the Shadow Council and its members seek their destruction at all costs. After the God Wars, various pantheons of Arcana retreated to the Godlands. In that power vacuum, other beings stepped into those vacant roles. Various Tilpa, powerful beings that pose as gods, posed as members of the Teotl pantheon, demanding the blood of the people to increase their own power. For many generations, the human of Exodal region of Arcana were forced to serve the whims of the impostors. With the aid of Coatl, sentient winged serpents, a rebellion was launched against the Tulpa. To weaken the creature's power and increase the humans' chances, the cleric order drank the blood of captured Tulpa, which transformed them into the first sun vampires. Eventually, their numbers grew large enough to totally destroy the remaining Tulpa and free the people. Sun vampires ruled the free societies. They had been free for only a few years before Toroda, an empire province that often acts as its own nation, sent troops known as Sanguidors to kill the sun vampires and their people, hoping to capture any riches they could be found there. Their first campaign was against the city-state of Huitzilopochtli, whose famed warrior caste easily defeated the Sanguidors. However, once they learned the true nature of the Sun Vampire curse, some Sanguidors were able to likewise transform themselves. Though they have lost the funding of Toroda, these Sanguidors use guerrilla tactics to attack villages and outposts, hoping to destabilize the region through fear. Interesting. Sun vampires still see themselves as mortals, only blessed with new abilities to protect their kingdoms. Unlike other vampires, they do not seek to hide in the shadows, literally and metaphorically, but wish to bolster their kingdoms. Using waygates in their territory, Sun vampires have established treaties with unlikely allies, including the mafia of the Empire's Wendigo City and Varanas from Simeon City. Vanaras from Simeon City. Known as the Union, this group works with other nations, such as the Empire, to secure relics that can protect their members. Many Mafia and Vanaras have traveled to the land of the Sun Vampires to start this new society. However, they face opposition from the remaining Sanguidor contingents that remain in the Union's new territories. Interesting. That's a whole host of interesting things there. I mean, Transylvania, makes sense. I don't know if that would be a thing. Okay, strength, dexterity, constitution, charisma. Age increased by 1. Only adults return to some vampires. They are ageless. So they don't even have the occasional outpost who don't follow because they are actually good people. They don't have the weird outliers who just go ham and kill children. Alignment. Unlike nocturnal vampires, sun vampires see themselves as protectors of mortals. Having defeated tyrannical gods, most are neutral good. Native to the Zalato region, sun vampires are not usually found traveling arcana. Sun vampires resemble their nocturnal kin. Size is medium, 35 feet. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness within the same range as if it were dim light. Absent even dim light, your vision is monochromatic. You have fangs. Your unarmed strikes deal 1d4 piercing damage. Your bite has the light and finesse weapon property proficiency. You can cast the friend's cantrip without material components. Charisma is your spellcasting ability for it. Okay, when you bite, if your target is living and grappled by you, or incapacitated, restrained, or willing, it takes 1d4 necrotic damage from your bite. Each round when you deal this damage, you can spend 1 hit dice to regain hit points. The target's hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to necrotic damage taken. This reduction lasts until target finishes a long rest. Target dies if you reduce the hit point maximum to 0. You're immune to disease and have resistance to poison damage. Also, you can add your proficiency bonus to saving throws against being poisoned. If you have proficiency in such a saving throw, your proficiency bonus is doubled. You speak, read, and write Common and Shadow Tongue, as well as the unique Nahuali language. Okay, so they don't have the relentless thirst, so they don't have to drink blood, which is a whole thing. The other vampires, have the relentless thirst. You must consume life force to survive. If you don't do at least 5 damage for from that, you don't get your freaking long rest. These guys don't have that, so that's kind of cool. Ooh, Vanara, which is the ones that the Sun Vampires formed alliance with. That's an interesting one. Vanars are mischievous monkey folk native to the jungle and mountain climates. They are touched by the divine, but their trickster nature leads them into pranks rather than piousness. They oppose the oppression of the gods and the folly of other mortals. There's not a god I've met that I haven't been able to draw a mustache and glasses on. Sun Wukong, Vanara demigod. Humanoid in appearance with the same size and shape as humans, though they have monkey-like features, hands, feet, and tails. They're usually covered in fur, which can be the color of any simian species. Move in a manner between that of humans and monkeys, often switching between as they walk quickly or scaling an object to get a better view of the area. Clever and resourceful, they love being life of the party, cracking jokes, and playing pranks. Okay, so Dimas Ujil. Do that one, and then the femme version. And she looks kind of cute, actually. Not gonna lie. Monkey Girl's not ugly. Though they act foolish, they care about the well-being of others and the world at large. Many Vanaras come into conflict with gods and beings that serve them, such as angels or Shivra, and have no love for demonic or devilish races. So this is based on Journey to the West is the I think the inspiration for this, which I have not read as such, but I have kind of seen several recap vibe for it. Monkeying around. Ooh, that's interesting. I got lore. Vanara's. Well, okay, she doesn't have that. Her boobs aren't that big, though. Like, look at this. Her boobs aren't that big, and she's, holding them respectably. They don't. You know what I mean? She's not busting a cleavage. You know what I mean? They actually, gave her, big boobs, sure, but not unreasonably large for a humanoid of her size and shape, and she's a mammal, so, it makes sense. So, but she's kind of cute. Sun Wukong. Yeah, Sun Wukong, who's the, I think they just chose the name from Journey to the West. Hang on. Okay, Journey to the West. It was published in the 16th century. Wu Chang'an. Let me see something. If Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, or the Monkey King. They just took the name right from Journey to the West. Which, is a thing, but still. Yeah, they just took the name right from... They didn't even bother to, just tweak it a little bit. They just freaking just took Sun Wukong's name. I guess, were originally created to aid Devas in the conflict against Ravana, the demon king of Lanka, a region of Indavana. You see, they couldn't even do India, they did Indavana, but with help of the Vanara demigod, Hanuman, Ravana was defeated. Vanaras continued to thrive, founding their own kingdoms and societies in Vana, D, and other regions of Arcana. After the God War, some Vanaras went willingly to the Godlands to continue service to their gods. Over time, though, some of these gods became antagonistic toward their subjects, causing many, including Vanaras, to oppose pantheons for control of their realms. Sun Wukong was a Vanara demigod who came into possession of I know I'm butchering the pronunciations. Jingu Bang, a staff imbued with the Eternal's magic. Through cunning tactics, he was able to steal several astro weapons used by the Devas, giving Vanaras a considerable edge over the gods. Sun Wukong aims to lead his followers into toppling gods from other pantheons, including non-adversarial gods such as Asclepius, Hygiena, and Nuwa. Some may ally with Taln to this end. On the mortal plane, Vanaras are common in jungle and mountainous regions. Some Vanara, Elementals have developed magic to tame and ride clouds, which allows Venaras to interact with various skyborn races. Venaras are found in the aerial kingdom of Magonia, whose land mass is held aloft by a combination of magic and enormous turbines. Ooh. This is like, I mean, there is some possible link there. Not an impossibility. Another notable settlement is Simeon City, an independent city-state in the Forsaken Lands, where ape and simian-like races congregate. Although Venaras are here continue to use magic, some research highly advanced technology. Run by Venara, Simeon City has made a strange alliance with the Sun Vampires of Axadal and the Mafia of the Empire's Wendigo City. They seek protection from Swarm military neighboring High Scabarine. And High Scabarine's army gets the help from the Rogue Verge, who make the beast with the thing. We were learning about this, because there are interconnections that this is what we see. Okay. Okay. Strength by 2, Dex by 1. I would put it the other way around personally, but yeah. Mature like humans but can live for several thousand years. Okay. Oppose oppression and rebel against authority, particularly of religious or divine nature. They are free-spirited humanoids who try to lead others away from folly and dogmatism. Venaras are chaotic good or chaotic neutral. Venaras are seldom seen. Venara is similar in size to human. Size is medium. Base walking speed is 30 feet, but you also have a climbing speed of 30 feet. You're a humanoid, but you are considered to be a celestial when it is detrimental for you. Here, let me bob it like this so I can see your chat. You double the distance you can jump. Calculate your carrying capacity and the weight you can drag, push, and lift as if you were a large. Huh. This is one of the first races I've seen that in that's not, really big, naturally. Proficiency in athletics and acrobatic skill. You can use your feet and tail as grasping limbs. Although these extra limbs might allow you to wield more weapons, they don't allow you to make more attacks than you might while wielding only 2 weapons. Also, while using your feet as graspers, you cannot walk using them. You can speak, read, and write Common and Celestial. Many Venaras also learned Wildkin. You can choose to place variant simian species with the following changes. Garashi. You are a sentient gorilla from a magically and scientifically advanced society hidden deep in the jungle region. Garashi have human-like lifespans. You lack the heritage celestial trait and have only prehensile feet, but you have proficiency with intimidation skill. You speak, read, and write only Common and Wildkin. Garashi are rare and often chaotic neutral. Okay, so they didn't get their own... Basically, these are races that didn't get their own lore, but they're similar enough physically to other ones that they tweak them and throw them in here, and I feel like they deserve more lore, but, some of them do anyway. Rinkini. You are a sentient baboon from... Oh, winged monkey. You were right. Shamanistic and warlike tribes found throughout jungle regions. You stand as tall as a gnome, making your size small. Rinkini have short lifespans, passing away from old age in their 30s. Instead of Venara's ability score increases, your dexterity increases by 2 and your strength by 1. Like I said. You lack heritage, celestial, and mighty traits. With your screams, you have proficiency in the intimidation skill. You speak, read, and write only Common and Wildkin. Rinkini are uncommon and often neutral evil. Winged monkeys were created by the Wickeds to serve them. Like I said, you were right. The winged monkeys, they did add a majiggy a nod to that. They were created by the Wickeds. They were not... Sorry. The defected, but actual created by. But, short lifespans passing away from old age in their 20s. That's sad. Sentient monkey with wings larger than your body. Your size is small. You gain no increase to strength. Instead, your charisma and dexterity scores each increase by 1. You lack the heritage celestial and mighty traits, but you have weak wings, which means I think that you can glide. You have to climb and then jump, and you can glide. You have proficiency in performance dancing skill. You can speak, read, and write Common, Skyborn, and Wildkin. Winged monkeys are rare. Those who are enslaved are chaotic evil, listening only to commands of the masters, while freed winged monkeys are chaotic, neutral, or good. So they just... if once they're not listening to evil, overlords, they're actually half decent. Okay, hang on. Ooh, prehensile tongues. Vandal. Sorry. Vashnai. Vata. Okay, hang on. We're going down. At least they announce where they will be touring months in advance so the locals can raise their defenses. Sweet Tooth. Kobold Bard. Vandals are muscular, pale-skinned humans with facial tattoos and prehensile tongues from the realm of Deathheim. Or Deathheim? I think Deathheim. Deathheim? Each is capable of manifesting an instrument to play heavy metal. For the past few centuries, Vandals have traveled to Arcana to spread murder, bloodshed, and epic rock concerts across the continent. You know what? There are worse builds of D&D races, honestly. Ooh, held to the mortal plane by the World Tree Jägersil. Hang on. Resemble humans in size and shape, though they all have paler white skin and dark facial tattoos, similar to placement of those of clowns. Okay. They have long flowing hair and other hairstyles meant to stand out. Each can conjure a guitar or a set of drums specific to them, made from a portion of their soul, which look like swords or axes covered in spikes. They wear leather and metal armor, often covering themselves in spikes or skull iconography. Vandals have rumbling voices that can produce sounds known as death growls. Okay, that's femme. And then I wish they'd shown a set of... Ooh, cool stash, though. That's a cool mustache. I am curious as to what the drums look like. Like, frickin'... Okay. Are known throughout Arcana, feared for the destruction left in the wake of their performances. They are angry at the world, which they believe to be bleak and meaningless, and express the sentiment through their music. Vandals value physical strength, similar to orcs and Zargons. Native to Deathheim, the realm of heavy metal, which is held to the mortal plane by the World Tree Jägersil, and also metaphysically close to the Renaissance realm of Sonata. Legend has it that the gods of heavy metal created Vandals to attend their performances, but the audience rose against their creators, taking the power of heavy metal from them. I feel like that's from the heavy metal music movie, which I did see. I only saw once. Oh, Lobo isn't... Oh. Oh, wow. Hang on. Was a comic. Appears in comic books created by... Okay, so... There's... Oh, that Lobo. Yeah, the DC comic Lobo. Okay. Alien born on the Utopia planet of Zarnia and works as an interstellar mercenary and bounty hunter. Oh yeah, he started out as a villain, then got to anti-hero status. Yeah. Pretty cool. Boop. Okay. Kind of does look like Lobo, though. I get what you're saying with the whole similarity. But no. Boom. Boom. Yep. Let me go. But I don't know if you've seen the movie Heavy Metal. It's an animated film, about the mysterious artifacts. So one asshole with a future cab murders for it. Then this one guy from, and then the one cat rider, like there's a lot of interlocking storylines about this one ridiculous artifact that corrupts people, except there's one guy who didn't get corrupted. He became like a muscle-bound hero, even though he was a nerd, like a soft-ass, nerd before, and then he didn't get corrupted by it, and it managed to kill the evil overlords and get the girl, and it was really epic. And there's this future cab driver who murdered for it. Lobnar, that's, I think, what it was called. It was an intense acid trip of a movie, and I kind of want to see it again, because I don't think I got everything. But it's a lot. Fun movie. But this reminds me of that vibe from it. The mortal plane first became aware of their existence when their realm-wide performances shook Yggdrasil, threatening to dislodge other realms. Luckily, Ratatoskr, prevented disaster. Vandals found that if they rocked hard enough, they could open a rift to the mortal plane. Over the course of Arcana's history, several Vandals have toured the continent, leading hordes of headbanging barbarians. The most famous of these metal lords was Brutalicus, whose guitar work and military left several cities in ruins. In the modern era, the most famous group of Vandals is the band Bloodbreaker. Their followers, known as roadies and groupies, destroy any trace of civilization within miles of their performances. They are the first group of Vandals to utilize mechanical inventions, combining Kyoto tech with Venice mobile cities to create crawling stage with speakers the size of towers. Vandals are not shy about their activities. Those on tour make shirts listing dates and locations of their future performances, almost as if warning for locals to leave. They're also useful to adventurers wishing to meet the Vandals head-on. Those who would fight Vandal groups, including Bloodbreaker, would do best to confront them off stage and never challenge them to a musical duel. 2 different ability score of your choice increased by 1. Ageist humans, but due to their lifestyle, tend to perish in their late 30s or 40s. Yeah, I feel like they tend to die young. The best rock stars all do. Hordes believe in anarchy and destroying established social orders without thought to social consequences. While individual Vandals might be lawful evil or neutral evil, most act as though they were chaotic evil to maintain their image. Vandals are a threat to smaller villages, and whispers of their evil, often epic deeds are spoken across the land. Tend to be imposing human size. So, like, big humans. Base walking speed is 30 feet, so 6.5 feet tall humans. Resistance to bludgeoning damage. You can summon an electric guitar capable of producing sounds without electricity as though it were plugged into a sound system. It appears in your hands, provided at least one is free. You have proficiency with this instrument. Your guitar's appearance is unique to you and doesn't change. You may instead summon a drum set, 2 drumsticks, 2 rack toms, a floor tom, a snare drum, a bass drum, and a stool in an unoccupied space. Your instrument disappears if you move more than 5 feet away from it, though if you die and your instrument is active, it remains. Okay. You can slam your head to an opponent without hurting yourself, so your unarmed strikes do 1d8 bludgeoning damage because you can headbutt people. You have a proficiency with your headbang. Prehensile tongue. You can use your tongue as a grasping limb. Okay. Although this extra limb might allow you to wield 3 weapons, it doesn't allow you to make more attacks than you might while wielding only 2 weapons. In addition, while using your tongue as a limb, you can't speak clearly, making verbal spell components impossible. But you can have a dagger in your tongue, which is kind of cool. You have proficiency in the intimidation skill. You do not benefit from this trait if you choose to have your conjure axe trait summon a bass guitar. Oh, bass. Okay, that's freaking bassists are. Okay, they're short shafting bassists, which is not cool. They speak, read, and write Common and Infernal. Due to their familiarity with death growl vocalizations, Vandals might also learn Monstrous. Freaking shortchanging bassists like that. Not cool. Okay, Vashnai. Sorry. These are all really cool. Even though we've spent centuries rejecting our infernal heritage, one mistake can plunge us back into that abyss. Kira Hart, Vashnai Ranger. Vashnai are a devilish race that surrendered 2 celestial powers, fighting now on the side of good against other fiendish and infernal races. They are experts in many different religions and magical traditions. Kind of like Lux. Okay. Vashnai are humanoid beings from the same general size and shape as Vashnai. I was thinking of Vada. Vashnai, these guys. Okay. Oh, they have hooves. Ooh, he's hot. Okay, he would tap that in a heartbeat. Bad boy vibes. Got the freaking hair, the horn, and they knew. You know what they say about the size of a man's horns. I'm just saying. Like, he's got big horns. Sorry. That might be a little uncouth, but like, they're cool, okay? Boom, little bones, swittery. Okay, we got you and that's pretty much it. Apparently, it's not that snooze infesting. They got 39 people watching on Little Bones' channel, and Darling is running it too, I guess. Although they might be a lot of people like me who just really support them, and so are, sitting in the back with the tab muted, with the, for the vibes. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, yeah, Jay rated Into Bones. That's probably why there's so many. Like, I'm still watching hers because Jay rated into it, and I had him on in the background, and then I just kind of... Although, funny story about Jay's stream, actually. I came running back from my friend's house because I realized it was 9:40 and I was supposed to do this stream. Came running back, and my computer, his stream was on because I was watching Blue Box until my game started, and then I had to mute Blue Box so I could play with my people, and then after the game I went to speak to my other friend. And then shenanigans ensued. Basically, fun stuff happened, and yeah. So I just came back and Jay's stream was already coming there. And then, of course, it popped in the Little Bones, and I was just like, she's cool. Oh, right, so but this is the Vashnai. Humanoid beings with the same general shape, size and shape as humans. They have hooves. So, long tails and thick horns. I think it's like foot size with the horn size. If you're femme, or at least don't have the goods. No, the funny story was that Jay's stream was already on. I thought that was kind of, if not humorous, then at least interesting, Like, I don't have to go and watch Jay's stream. It just happens. Because I'm so entrenched in the community now that I'm just like, oh, Jay's stream is on. Even though I didn't set up to stream with Jay, freaking Blue Box rated into Kayla, and of course I kept Kayla's stream on because I want to support her by lurking, and then she rated into Jay, and I was just like, oh, alright. Anyway, I didn't mean funny as in humorous. I could tell you a funny little story, Mr. Bones. One day a doctor fell into a great big well. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. No, he should have attended to the sick and left the well alone. Sorry. There. Funny little story. Same general, they have hooves, long tails, and thick horns. Vashnai's skin is light blue or purple, and their hair can naturally grow in any color. They move with the grace of a gazelle. Generous and welcoming. Many live among other races in large cities, working in professions common to that area. In the past, Vashnai have sided with angels, dark elves, and Grigori to defeat forces of hell. They distrust other demonic and devilish races, including Devilkin. Hang on. Grigori... Oh, no, Grigori was not... I'm thinking of... Never mind. I'm thinking... So when I said Grigori, I mixed them up with, not winged monkeys, where is it? Gorashi. Grigori are like the wizards, like Gandalf vibe wins. Okay. Right, we established this. Devilish races occasionally found their way from hell to the mortal planes. Even after they were banished, they're following the Demon Age. While most of these beings were content to cause strife and suffering among other mortal races, one devilish race known as the Mazikeen disapproved of wanton destruction. They saw the best way to advance their society was not to oppose the forces of good, but to embrace them. Using a ritual now lost to time, they were able to activate original grace within themselves, altering their form and becoming Vashnai. Now they work for the good of others, but those who succumb to their darker urges revert back to Mazikeen. Vashni support celestial beings such as archangels and benevolent gods. They live throughout Arcana in small settlements that are open to all, though demonic and devilish races avoid them. Vashni cultivate magical gems, which they amplify or alter magic to construct their buildings and wares. Interesting. I don't know if these are the same type of magical gems like capital G, like the Gem Realm gems, or just like magical crystals. Many experiment with gems and plant life, breeding unique magical flora and embedded gem particles. While most of their buildings are made with traditional materials, Vashni can also grow arboreal structures using their gem expertise. That's cool. Vashni gemsmiths work for gem forges to reshape gems and further amplify their natural magics. Okay, I'm gonna have to put, the Gem Realm, or are they related? If not, why does anyone bother I guess, it's always better to get oh yes. Oh yeah, we started after we did Mafia, so we didn't actually, because the gem, we covered gems earlier. Okay, though Vashni oppose evil, only a few leave their homes seeking adventure. However, during the Hell War, Vashni from across Arcana mobilized to help fight back the Titan Metrus and the forces of Hell from invading the mortal plane. Many Vashni lost their lives to cultists within their ranks who reverted to their Mazikeen forms, attacking their base camps. Once Metrus' forces were defeated, the surviving Mazikeen fled to Hell. Veterans of the Hell War followed them. These warkeepers sought to avenge the fallen and fight the forces of Hell on their own turf. Your strength, wisdom, and charisma each increased by 1. Mature slightly slower than a human, and live for nearly 2 millennia. Vashni culture is benevolent theocracy dedicated to protecting the world, its knowledge, and its people. Typical Vashni is compassionate and honorable, willing to sacrifice for the benefit of others, lawful good. Uncommon. Vashni were once rare, but have multiplied and settled far and wide over the centuries. Taller than humans, made even more so by their horns, so most are over 6 feet tall. Size is still medium. Base walking speed, 30 feet. Can see dim light within 60 feet of you as if for bright light, and the darkness within the same range as for dim light. Absent even dim light, vision is monochromatic. You know the thaumaturgy and spare the dying cantrips. When you attain 3rd level, you can cast Bless as a 1st level spell without the material component. Once you cast Bless, you can do so again only after you finish a short or long rest. Wisdom is your spellcasting ability for these spells. During a short rest, you can invoke the Divine to allow you to regain extra hit points equal to your Wisdom modifier for each hit dice you expend. You can forgo this benefit to invoke the Divine at the end of a short rest to end one disease or poison condition affecting you, or to return your hit point maximum to normal. If you do any of these, you must finish a long rest before using this ability again. You speak, read, and write Common, Celestial. Also like to learn Sylvan. Let's see. You can choose to play as a variant Vashni with the following changes. Mazikeen, you have embraced your devilish heritage through a pact with an archdemon or archdevil and appear with smoldering red skin and imposing wings. Instead of the normal score and Billion score increases, your charisma and dexterity score increase by 1. You have weak wings, and you have heritage fiend trait of the demon species in the book. You also speak, read, and write Infernal instead of Celestial. Mazikeen are rare and often lawful evil, following the orders of their sinister masters. Warkeeper, you have spent years fighting demons in the rings of hell. Ceremonial scarification cover your skin. Instead of normal ability score increases, your strength score increases by 2, and your constitution or dexterity, your choice, increases by 1. Military training trait from the Zargon race. If you are a ranger, your favorite enemy is fiend. You also speak, read, and write Infernal. Having spent decades of the conflict in hell, Warkeepers are legendary. They often have lawful good within concept their own militaristic society, but other races might consider them lawful evil. Okay, so the Vashnai variant actually makes sense. There are actually variations on this, that make sense within the lore, as opposed to just freaking other races that are similar enough physically that they and don't have enough lore for their own pages. They actually make sense as variants of Vashnai. Okay. Okay, we're getting back to Verge. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna Vata. I hate taking jobs in Ashai. Someone can always smell you coming. Davin, Ikari Rogue. Vatas are humanoids with elephant trunks instead of hair. Some have elephant tusks growing from their foreheads like horns. What's the picture? Oh, no. These guys do. There's gonna be some interesting lore here. What's the plan? Plan is what was I gonna so my plan is get through, we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna end the stream. Vata. Their trunks give them a heightened sense of smell. Work as agents of Devas, a celestial pantheon native to the spirit plane. Human-like appearance, they have 2 more elephant trunks instead of hair. Ooh, they can have more than 2 trunks. Some have dozens of trunks that mimic more complicated hairstyles or ivory tusks that grow from their heads, like horns. Both the male and females can have tusk horns. They have elephantine skin, which is the same color as found in elephant species. Peaceful and devoted to their gods, respecting the natural harmony found in nature. That's redundant. Seldom travel the wider world, though they may interact with Shifra and Naga in their regions they call home. Vatas are native to the region of Indravana, far from the Empire City-State of Ashai. They have their own small communities that rely on bartering with other villages. Vatas are devoted to gods of the Deva pantheons, though unlike the Shivra of Ashai, they do not have direct contact with these beings unless they leave their settlements. Though Vatas strive for peace and unity, some believe that they are chosen by the gods if they have tusk horns. This social conflict drives some Vatas to leave home, though it is said no matter where or how far Vata is, they can find their way back home. Vatas who make it to Ashai might devote themselves to Karuna, the Vata Deva, who has urged peace between mortals and the divine. Her Vata followers conflict with those of other Devas who wish to see their own faction control over more power of the city. Karuna also teaches that there are beings more powerful than Devas on the mortal plane, and that even the demigods should supplicate, an idea that threatens to throw the city in turmoil. Another threat to Vatas comes from poachers who kill those with tusk horns and sell for use in rituals and spells. For example, some believe a Vata tusk horn, prepared correctly, could turn a vampire mortal, if stabbed through the heart. Some Vatas are not killed, but instead disfigured and now seek revenge against the hunters who maimed them. Even within Ashai, Vatas are not safe from from poachers, and enemies of the Karuna are more than willing to assist their hunters. Vatas, like other races native to Ashai, are free to travel beyond their city. When they become mortally wounded or become ill or close to their natural death, they feel compelled to return to Ashai or their home villages where their most Vatas are ceremoniously buried upon death. Let's see. And then there's extra flavor text. In addition to Yggdrasil, there are dozens of other world trees keeping higher mortal or shadow realms connected to the mortal plane. These colossal trees reach into the clouds and can appear as species native to their region. By traveling their branches, roots, or trunk, an adventurer can find a way into another realm. Kabadrasil is world tree that grows in the knowing, into the knowing, can be found but only by the most powerful magic users. Janavari are humans with animal features of celestial heritage that descended from realms of Rajadrasil, the world tree of Indravana region. Unlike Wild King, who resemble humanoid versions of animals, Devnari resemble humans with animal features. Vatas are a type of Yavnari. Janavari. Many other types of Janavari exist, but few leave their realms, though some travel to the spirit plane in search of adventure. Okay. 2 different ability scores of your choice increased by 1. Reach maturity as humans do and can live up to 200 years. Devoted to their gods and wish good fortune for other races. Sorry, let me just check one thing real quick. Okay. Good fortune for other races. They're often lawful good. Like other Janavari races, Vatas rarely leave the lands of their ancestors. Built like humans, although horns can add up to a foot of Vatas height. Your size is medium. Base walking speed is 30 feet. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and darkness within the same range as if it were dim light. Absent even dim light, your vision is monochromatic. You're humanoid, but are considered to be celestial when it is detrimental for you. When using your sense of smell to attempt wisdom perception checks, you can add your proficiency bonus. If you have proficiency in perception, your proficiency bonus is doubled for this purpose. You can use each of your head trunks as a grasping limb. All these extra limbs allow you to wield more weapons. They don't allow you to make more attacks, and you might wielding only 2. Can speak, read, and write Common, Celestial, and Wild can. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then you got the Verge, obviously, with the tools. And okay. I am crashing, and we've been streaming for 2 hours, over 2 hours, and I think we did something really fun with the stream today, and I'm glad we did it. I'm gonna hit save on the notes. Oh wow, there's a lot of interesting stuff that I was like, freaking, yeah, the notes page is super interesting. Okay. Okay, Strix Hollow sounds cool. Vashnai jumps to the gem realm. Okay. Okay, we're doing that. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I don't usually stream that long, but I am crashing hard. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's see who we've got. We got Little Bones, and Darling. Praetor's Reject. Also. Alright, I'm gonna raid into Darling, because she's cool. And I would suggest you come with me, because Darling Group Show is awesome. And, yeah. We'll raid in to support her and give her a boost, because even if the game's boring, she's still cool. So we'll do that, and pop in to say hi. Alright. Let's do that. I'm gonna stop streaming. Good night, everyone.